Today's video is brought to you by LevelGo.com, where you could pick up all of your favorite games coming out in the year 2019, as well as software like Windows 10 Pro for just $16, Microsoft Office 2016 for under $40, and Office 2019 Professional Plus for just $80. And if you head over there with the links down in the description below, you can get 12% off of Windows 10 with the code JKL12 at checkout, or 10% off the entire website with the code JKL10. Just hit up the links down in the description below for more info, and be sure to use those coupon codes. Hey, what's up guys? Joker here, and good morning. Very, very early good morning. It's actually 4 a.m. right now. I've been kind of up all night working on some things. And yeah, we've got some news topics to get through, so let's get right into it. First, starting off, I do want to talk about the Halo Master Chief Collection, which we covered last week on the channel when it was still just a rumor, and then a few hours later it was actually confirmed that it's coming out, it's coming to Steam. Most of you probably already know that by now, but I did want to give a status update on that because they have already started accepting signups for an early access version of the Halo Master Chief Collection. That's right, and they've not only that, but they've also said that this should be coming very, very soon. It almost sounds like they're pretty much ready to launch this thing in the coming weeks. So if we head over to DSOG, you can see they said that Microsoft claimed that this test period is almost ready to be launched out, and at this point, all they need is a large amount of signups, and this test will take place on Steam, and then there's also going to be a new Reddit AMA this coming Tuesday, so that should be tomorrow. So it looks like things are kind of moving full steam ahead, no pun intended, with the Master Chief Collection, and it should be coming relatively soon. If you do want to sign up for this early access, which will be for, I believe it's Halo Reach or Halo ODST. Yes, Halo Reach, sorry, yeah, they're doing Halo Reach first, and then after that, they're going to be bringing out the other titles, which many of you probably have heard now. They're going to be kind of bringing them out one at a time so that they can make sure all the different games come out and that they're working properly on the PC and have good ports with 4K, ultra-wide support, FOV sliders, uncapped frame rates, all that stuff. Pretty much everything they've mentioned so far about the Master Chief Collection sounds like they're doing it right, up to and including the fact that it's actually on Steam, which I cannot believe. So if you do want to sign up for this, you basically have to become part of the Halo Insider program, which you can do over on their website. I'll link to this down below. It's HaloWaypoint.com though, and you can just sign up on here. You do have to give them a decent amount of information when you sign up. That's kind of like a survey, and they ask you for like your Windows DXDiag .txt so they could see your system specs and things like that. So they are collecting a decent amount of information to sign up for this, and hopefully once it becomes available, I'll actually be able to test it. During South by Southwest, they actually also commented on whether or not this would be an Xbox Play Anywhere title and whether or not it would have cross-platform play between the PC and the Xbox, which would be really awesome to see. However, they've confirmed that it will not have cross-platform play at launch, but they did not turn down the possibility of it, saying that in the future, where basically 343 claimed want to do such a thing. However, it needs to finish the games for the PC, and it wants to also get community feedback to tell them whether or not people actually want cross-platform play. So I definitely would like to see that, just mostly because it will open up the player pool, because sometimes on PC we might not see as big a community of people playing a single game. Not always the case, but sometimes that can happen with shooters, and especially something like this is a little bit older, even though people have been waiting for a long time. We just don't really know yet how big the community is going to be on the PC and how easy it'll be able to matchmake and things like that and play all the different modes. So I think having this expanded to include both the Xbox and the PC players would be cool. Obviously, though, that is going to present some issues with mouse and keyboard versus controller, which I don't think it's really much of an argument that mouse and keyboard has a distinct advantage against people that are using controllers, and people playing with controllers would be at that disadvantage, and they would likely get absolutely destroyed. So obviously that is a concern, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on the Master Chief Collection coming to the PC. Are you going to pick it up? Do you think it should have cross-platform play? Would you want to play it with mouse and keyboard versus people with controllers? Or maybe you're going to play with a controller anyway on the PC. I don't know, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'd be curious what you guys think about it. Next up, NVIDIA is currently rumored to be revealing 7nm Ampere, which could be just announced in the next couple of days during GTC 2019, and I would definitely take this rumor with a hefty truckload of salt, mostly based on the source, of this rumor, even though it's circulating around right now and it's on a lot of websites. The original source of the rumor is TweakTown, who honestly does not have the best track record when it comes to rumors and leaks, and most of the time just seeming like they are taking information pulled directly from one's posterior, otherwise known as their ass, and then just throwing it onto the web to get clicks over to their website, which then people like me cover and kind of feed into the whole thing. So I don't even know why we're talking about it, but hey, the whole web is discussing it, so I guess we could at least discuss it a little bit. If they do announce 7nm and it's going to be their next architecture of GPUs, what exactly that would mean for competition with AMD, who already has a 7nm GPU and 7nm CPUs coming later this year. With NVIDIA already handling their manufacturing at TSMC, which is handling the 7nm side of things for AMD, it doesn't seem that far-fetched they could have 7nm GPUs. It just seems a little bit early right now, with Turing having just come out within the last 9 months to already be pushing towards 7nm. Now, if they did push 7nm, it would be very, very unlikely that these are going to be gaming consumer cards. This would be for the super high-end, for the data centers, AI, things like that, machine learning. That would mostly be what these are for things like Tesla and Quadro cards, not necessarily for GeForce cards like RTX, which we'll probably won't see for another good year, maybe even year and a half, possibly even 2 years, if anything, with the last generation is something to go by. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with these cards, if they decide to stick with HBM2 like on the previous ones, if they decide to go with GDDR6 like we saw in the consumer level of cards. So there are definitely a few questions in the back of our minds on this, and also whether or not it's even true, but we should find that out very soon, as GTC is kicking off in just a couple of days, or actually kicks off today, and it's going to be lasting until the 21st, sorry. So yeah, if this is true, we should find out in the next couple of days, and if anything new comes of it, then I will keep you guys up to date, but I wouldn't really hold your breath on this, and especially don't hold your breath if you think this is going to mean the announcement of new gaming cards already. I find that extremely unlikely. And last but certainly not least, I just wanted to quickly talk about The Division 2, mostly because I've been playing it since early last week, mostly just for testing purposes, but the game officially launched on Friday, and I pretty much played it all weekend long. I think I have close to 19 hours already logged into this game. Me and a buddy of mine have been playing it co-op, and it just really drove home how bad Anthem was. That's really the best thing about Division, is it just shed so much light on why Anthem was such a complete failure and all the things that it was doing wrong. And The Division 2 has just been fantastic. The performance has been good. The scaling has been really good in terms of the performance there, with different graphics cards and quality presets. All good stuff there. The loot is also really good as well. This is just kind of like a more or less a first impressions, and I also did want to talk about performance. But yeah, first impressions just really good. It just, like I said, the loot is really what's driving home what is making this game good versus what made Anthem such a complete and utter pile of shit. Anthem's loot was horrendous. Every gun looked pretty much the same. They had virtually the same stats. There was no really good endgame loot to speak of. And it just didn't feel very rewarding. Things like loot chests were few and far between, while The Division 2, you are constantly getting loot, and the loot is good. It's unique, the guns are different, they give different things, and even though you're doing the same things over and over and over again, just like you did in Anthem, you're still running through and killing pretty much the same enemies over and over and over again. They're constantly giving you more loot and constantly making you want to play, because the next corner you turn, you might find a weapon chest that has that new assault rifle or sniper rifle or LMG that raises your damage numbers by double, and you're just oh my god, an amazing weapon with all the stats that I've wanted, and you pick it up and it just feels good. It's rewarding right away, and it's constantly happening. Every few minutes you're finding a chest with one new piece of gear at least that you can immediately go ahead and put on, unlike Anthem where you pick up a piece of gear, you got to go all the way back to Fort Tarsis before you can even get the friggin' thing. They do have that element in Division 2 with the Dark Zone, but for, in the single player, when you're actually just running around playing co-op or by yourself, you pick up an item, you can immediately put it on. You don't need to extract it or do anything like that to be able to use that gear, and it's just constant reinforcement and reward, which makes you want to keep on playing the game. Even the act of doing something like leveling up, just bombards all of your senses when you level up. There's sounds playing, there's sound effects, there's visual elements coming up saying you leveled up, you unlocked Shade Tech, you unlocked XP, credits, you know, loot boxes, all the stuff, keys to open more loot boxes. You just get all this stuff when you level up, and it's constantly rewarding. So I've been enjoying the hell out of the Division 2. And if there hasn't been any good games yet here in early 2019 that has kind of wet your whistle, I mean, we've had Resident Evil 2 and also Devil May Cry 5 have been pretty well received. But yeah, Division 2 has honestly been my favorite game so far in 2019. Even though it's a lot like the first one, it's still been really enjoyable for me. And yeah, graphics performance has been really good over on WCCF Tech. My buddy Keith May did a full performance analysis, which I really recommend you guys checking out. Very good article over there. If you come over here, he's got everything over here. He's got the different graphics preset scaling, which I already tested. Intel core scaling, tested at 1080p, 1440p, and 4K. And as you can see, this is on Ultra preset DirectX 12. You know, something like even all the way going down to the RX 570 or GTX 1060 16GB. Those are averaging nearly 60 FPS at Ultra settings. And I guarantee you there is one killer option in this game, which is volumetric fog. If you knock that option down to medium, you will probably get a good 10 to 15 FPS bump. So all these cards here that are like 54, 58, 61 FPS, add like another 10 to 15 FPS to that, and you'll be seeing what you can get at Ultra with volumetric fog and medium. So that should give you a good idea of how well this game is running across all the different cards, and most of these cards can pretty much run it at Ultra. You know, just tweak like one option and you're pretty much good to go. And the same is even true for like 1440p. You know, a card like the 1070 or something like the recently released 1660 or 1660 Ti could handle this game at 1440p. If you just knock down maybe one or two settings to high or medium, you'd be absolutely golden. And 4K runs really well for me as well on my 2080 Ti, which I've been playing it on maxed out completely and getting over 60 frames per second. So overall, Ubisoft has done a good job with the Division 2. I've been enjoying it, and I do recommend it if you have been thinking about picking it up. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on the Division 2, the Halo Insider program, and being able to get early access to that, whether or not you think there should be cross-platform play, and also the 7nm GPUs from NVIDIA. That's something you're excited for, not excited for? Do you think it's completely fake news? Let me know. Let's discuss. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, enjoy the rest of my day, and probably cane through some more Division 2. And I will catch you guys all tomorrow for another video. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you then. Ta-ra.